Hello again and welcome back. I want to give full credit for today's insightful and convicting message to commenter at East Texan 2933. He was kind to give me permission to use it in all formats to get the message out. Now, I'm very encouraged and gratified when viewers and subscribers begin to engage the channel as partners. Now I begin. Quote, the shift in belief from futurism, expecting a future physical return of Christ, to preterism, the belief that Christ's prophetic return was spiritually and judgmentally fulfilled in the first century, specifically during the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70, creates a massive psychological conflict. When a lifelong futurist is confronted with evidence for a first century fulfillment, the sunk cost fallacy acts as a powerful barrier. It forces the individual to protect their past investments rather than objectively evaluating the new theological timeline. The sunk cost fallacy specifically distorts a person's response to this paradigm shift through several avenues. The first is the cost of wasted watchfulness. Futurism demands a high ongoing investment of mental energy, hypervigilance, and cultural scanning. Adherents spent years tracking global news, decoding political events, and anticipating an imminent catastrophic end of days scenario. The fallacy's effect is such that accepting the event already happened 2,000 years ago means realizing that decades of looking for signs of the times was a waste of cognitive energy. The mind rebels against the idea that its long held urgency was unnecessary, prompting the person to keep waiting just to validate their past vigilance. The second is the loss of the imminent escape premium. Many futurists invest heavily in the emotional comfort of a rapture or a sudden rescue from an increasingly hostile world. This escape pod theology often shapes how they plan their finances, their careers, and long term futures. The fallacy's effects are profound. Adopting a preterist view forces the realization that there is no imminent miraculous rescue from worldly troubles. And because they have already sacrificed long term planning under the assumption that the end is near, admitting they were wrong feels like a double loss. They lose both their historical worldview and the future safety net they counted on. Thirdly, one must consider the sunk capital in end time subculture. The futurist movement supports a massive ecosystem of books, media, conferences, and specialized ministries. Individuals invest significant financial resources into buying prophecy guides, they attend seminars, and supporting specific teachers. Acknowledging a first century return invalidates the person's entire library and financial history of donations. The sunk cost fallacy convinces them to keep buying or defending futurist media because throwing it away feels like admitting a massive, unrecoverable financial error. Now, number four, one must overturn a lifetime of shared testimony. Futurist believers often build their social credibility and family legacy on sharing a specific message, warning others about a coming judgment. So to switch to preterism means admitting to friends, children, and peers that the core message they preached for decades was chronologically misplaced. The social cost of being wrong to their community causes them to double down on futurism, choosing to protect their current social standing over adopting what they might secretly suspect is a more accurate historical framework. Ultimately, the sunk cost fallacy changes the question from what does the text say to what happens to everything I have done if I change my mind. The individual stays anchored in a future expectation, not necessarily out of text based certainty, but because the emotional, social, and financial bill for their past beliefs is just simply too high to pay. Now, I'm done for now. Thank you again for at East Texan 2933 for his great contribution to the channel. I'm out.